rose ceremony. My name is Tina Friend. I'm Coronado's city manager, and I am absolutely thrilled to review. This is one of the most amazing events Coronado puts on to celebrate our connection with our military community, and we're so honored you're here with us. And today, we are honoring our 22nd group of honorees. We do this about twice a year. Keeps growing and continuing to celebrate the connection. We're all thrilled to be part of it. So we have probably recognized, the program is all about recognizing members of our military community who lived in Coronado or live here now. And as you know, Coronado is a very patriotic town, very much embrace our military connections. And did everyone enjoy the flags as you came in on Orange Avenue this morning? Did everyone see those? Yeah. And that was for you. That was to honor you in this event, and it again exemplifies how much Coronado embraces our community military connections. And I won't go into the origin story of this program, but on page 5 of the program, the book that you have, I encourage you to read that, because it gives you the history of how Adams and Rose started, and how the action of a single community member really gave rise to this remarkable event we have year over year. So please take a read of that. And I also want to recognize and thank some individuals up front here who, with their enduring support, keep this program going year over year, and that is our Coronado City Council. So, council members, I'd like to introduce you. Today, our real first time, Carrie Tony, if you could wave and say hello. Thank you. We have Councilmember Kelly Burgess next to her. Thank you, Kelly. And Councilmember Lee Stewart. Thank you so much. And I do want to extend my regrets for the mayor. He is typically here at all of these, but he has a graduate school graduation on the East Coast, and he was not able to be here. And there's some other partners and stakeholders I want to recognize, because you can tell this is a big tent, and a lot of people contribute to this event. So I'd like to recognize from the Coronado Detachment of the Marine Corps League, Patrick Duffy. From the Service Student Chapter of the Military Officers Association of America, Chris Merwin. From the Coronado Council of the Navy League, former President Joyce Murphy. I'd also like to recognize from the Coronado Historical Association board members Robin Sierra and Caroline Murray. Thank you so much. And I do want to recognize former city council members who support, continue to support, and attend. So I saw Ms. Susan Keith. Thank you so much for being here, Susan. And Mr. Martin Hines right here up front. Thank you, okay. So that's our initial appreciation and thanks, and now let's get the program started. For those who are able, please rise for the parading of the colors and the singing of the national anthem.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Oh, stay, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag
hearing about the connections that our military have with our town here in Coronado. And before we move on, though, I want to take a moment to recognize the people that make all this possible. And that is you, the sponsors, and the briar workers on our committee that help develop these stories. Thank you so much, because you bring to life the stories, you pull all the information, the photographs together, and you really tell the stories so beautifully, and it's such a gift to us all. And I'll say personally, I'm very proud to be a daughter of a Marine grandfather, or a granddaughter of a Marine grandfather, and a father who was in the Army. And my grandfather served in World War II. He was in one of the first Amtrak battalions on Iwo Jima and Tinman Saipan, and I know very little about that. And I really wish that this program would have been in place for us to recover that family history for us. So anyway, thank you so much to family members, to sponsors. Can we get a round of applause, please? And part of that I referenced there is our Avenue of Heroes Committee. We have a long-standing dedicated committee of folks who come together year-round to make this program possible. So the committee is comprised of 2 members each from the 3rd and 4th Streets Neighborhood Association, the Coronado Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2422, and the Coronado Historical Association. So I'd like to make individual huge appreciation from the city and all of us to Lee Fulmer first down here. Thank you, Lee, so much. John Nolan here to my left. So now we're getting to why we're all here, the real meat of the program. So I'd like to pass it off to Mr. John Nolan and Dan Stewart, who are our 2 presenters. So they will take turns going through the biographies as you'll be seeing presentations on the slideshow. So, Mr. Stewart, please join us.
Thank you, Gina, and good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure as a reader to also present my fellow reader, Captain John Nolan, U.S. Navy retired. And it's fitting because today is also the celebration of Armed Forces Day. And Armed Forces Day is when the nation recognizes all Americans currently serving and all currently serving in all services. So it's their difference. So let's get started. First bio is for Vice Admiral Brent Bennett. Born in Muskegon, Michigan, Vice Admiral Bennett was raised in Southern California. He is a graduate of Paramount High School, the U.S. Naval Academy, the U.S. Navy Test Pilots School, and the Navy Nuclear Power Program. Bennett received his Navy Wings of Gold in 1965. Flying the A-4 Charlie with Attack Squadron 94 aboard the USS Hancock and the USS Bonhomme Richard. And he completed 213 combat missions in Vietnam. He then qualified as a Navy test pilot and served as test flying instructor in both the United States and England. Transitioning to the A-7 Echo, he assumed command of Attack Squadron 105 in 1978, which was named the Navy's most outstanding attack squadron. Destined for flag rank, Bennett completed nuclear power training before commanding the USS LaSalle, in command of the nuclear power carrier USS Nimitz. His final at sea tour duty was as commander, Carrier Strike Group 5, the Navy's largest carrier battle group and the only carrier strike group permanently forward deployed in the Western Pacific. Ashore, Bennett served as Director of Air Warfare on the staff of the Chief of Naval Operations and as Commander of Naval Air Force's U.S. Pacific Fleet. The International Flight Safety Foundation recognized him for his contributions to international aviation safety as its first active-duty military recipient of the prestigious Laura Tabor Margaret Award. During his 34-year naval career, Admiral Bennett flew 50 different aircraft, fixed and rotary, and sailplanes, logging over 4,000 flight hours and 786 carrier arrested landings. There's a number of takeoffs equal to the number of landings. He was good.
Yeah.
His decorations include the Naval Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, 5 awards, and Individual Air Medal, 3 awards. After retiring from the Navy, Bennett served as Executive Vice President of Water Corporation, an engineering and technical services firm supporting the nation's air forces. He retired from that in 2012. Vice Admiral Bennett was married to his high school sweetheart, Diane, for 55 wonderful years. He and his wife have 1 daughter, Sarah, a University of Southern California graduate and vice president at a major movie production firm. He remains active in Coronado Rotary, the Society of Experimental Test Pilots, and the Golden Eagles Association of Naval Aviators. Thank you for your service, Admiral. The other from the family, please come forward.
Where's his pad? No, they're going to give it to him. Showtime.
Okay, the next biography is for Captain Tad Chamberlain. Tad Chamberlain was born and raised in Long Beach, California. He attended California State University in Long Beach, where he graduated with a degree in management. Commissioned in October 1968, he was designated a naval aviator in April 1970, and later earned a master's degree in international relations from Southern Regina College in Newport, Rhode Island. Throughout his career, Tad was quick to treat others with equal and uplifting respect. He was an officer and a gentleman. As a naval aviator, Captain Chamberlain flew more than 5,000 hours, including 3,200 hours in the A-7 Echo Corsair. He piloted 21 different models of naval aircraft and made rescue landings on 9 different aircraft carriers. A moment in time from Tad's career as a naval aviator, Captain Chamberlain shared, "One night the cat came down and asked, 'Do you want to lead a strike tomorrow?' I said, 'Yeah, sure,' thinking it was just another practice mission." He added, "No, this is real. We're going to sink an Iranian ship under the orders from the President," and that would be President Reagan. Tad's tour of duties included Attack Squadron 113, deployed aboard USS Ranger, flight deck officer on USS Nimitz, where he deployed twice to the Mediterranean and Indian Oceans, OPNAV staff, executive, and commanding officer of Attack Squadron 94, executive officer aboard USS Ranger, commanding officer USS Wabash, and his final tour with Naval Air Force U.S. Pacific Fleet at NES North Island. He retired April 1st, 1998. His awards included 2 Legion of Merit medals, the Distinguished Flying Cross with the Combat Committee, 2 Meritorious Service medals, the Navy Achievement Medal, and many others. Tad spent 30 years in the Navy. During his naval career after retirement, Tad lived for several years in Coronado and later flew for FedEx Express. He now lives in Newport Beach with his wife, Randy Stevens-Millard. Their son, Steve, manages real estate properties. Their second son, Nick, is a film producer, and their daughter, Erin Chesser, holds a law degree and the executive vice president at Frost Bank. Tad has three grandchildren, Skylar 10, Addison 6, and Emmett 11 months. Captain Chamberlain was previously honored at Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial with his plaque mounted April 23rd, 2025. Thank you for your service. Will Captain Tad Chamberlain and his family please come forward?
Nice photo.
All right, the next biography is for Lieutenant Commander Edward H. Chu Jr. Edward H. Chu Jr. was raised in Coronado from the age of 2 and graduated from Coronado High School, class of 1956, where he was elected as the Associated Student Body President his senior year. He then attended the University of Notre Dame, graduating in 1960 with a degree in business and accounting. After graduation, he and his college roommate decided to join the Navy to participate and support the war in Vietnam. He successfully completed Officer Candidate School in 1961 and Supply Corps School in 1962 and was then ordered to Vietnam. He served aboard the USS Fort Marion, LC-22, and USS Hopewell, DD-681, providing support to U.S. Marines in the Mekong River Delta region of Vietnam. After serving in Vietnam, Chu served as a procurement officer in Guam and at various locations throughout the United States, including Patuxent River, Maryland, Chicago, Long Beach, California, and Philadelphia. He provided critical fleet and overall procurement support to the Navy. Chu received the Joint Service Combination Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Republic of Vietnam Armed Forces Meritorious Unit Citation with POM, and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal with the Vice. He always chose country over career and honorably served his country in a variety of locations. During his Navy career, he married former Judith Kane in 1964, and they raised 3 sons, Edward III, Christopher, and Jeffrey. He retired honorably from the Navy in 1982 after more than 20 years of loyal service. Since then, he's worked closely with the Veterans Administration to help attribute various ailments to Agent Orange exposure in Vietnam, assisting other veterans who were experiencing long-term effects. Eventually, the VA adopted a policy of resumptive exposure, where they assumed that veterans who served in certain locations were exposed to Agent Orange and honored their disability claims. After retiring, he remained active with Coronado High School and strip reunions and volunteered at Camp Pendleton, assisting Marine families in need. Always contributing to his community, Edward and his wife, Charlene, are reliable and frequent volunteers with the San Clemente Elks Lodge, Rotary International, and Veterans of Foreign Wars. Thank you for your service. Will Lieutenant Commander Edward H. Q. Jr. and his family please come forward?
The next biography is for Lieutenant Colonel Thomas E. Dawson. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas E. Dawson, U.S. Marine Corps, grew up in Colorado. In 1943, he moved to Coronado to join his father, who worked at NAS North Island as an aircraft inspector, along with his mother and sister, before entering the Naval Aviation Cadet V-5 program, where he first learned to fly. In 1944, he received a congressional appointment to the United States Naval Academy and graduated with the class of 1948 Alpha in 1947 and joined the U.S. Marine Corps. While flying the Skyraider attack aircraft in Korea, he flew 62 missions and received an Air Medal with 2 gold stars, denoting 60 missions. On days when they were flying maximum effort, he would start early in the morning, fly, return to base, rearm the aircraft, and take off again after being briefed. He was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for leading a mission of 3 squadrons, that's a total of 40 to 50 aircraft, on an interdiction mission against an important enemy railhead and supply line. Other highlights of his career included serving as Marine Corps aide to the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Air, earning a degree in aeronautical engineering from the California Institute of Technology, serving as project officer on the Bullpup air-ground missile, the TSQ ground control bombing systems, and other programs at the Navy Missile Center in Naval Missile Center. Commanding officer of the Task Squadron and the F-9F Jet Training Squadron, and serving as Marine Corps liaison officer with the Federal Aviation Administration Facility in New Jersey. After returning from the Marine Corps, retiring from the Marine Corps in 1966, Tom worked for Linden Industries. He returned to his beloved Coronado in 1991 with his wife Lee Rose, a native, living in her childhood home until her death, and later with his wife Joelle until their deaths. He was a member of Grand Memorial Presbyterian Church, the North Island Men's Golf Club, and the Optimist Club. His parents, Anna and Rui, and later Rui Allen, and his sister, Ann Kanoki, lived in Coronado until their deaths. Dawson is survived by daughters Linda Dawson and Lori Zielinski, Coronado, grandchildren, Greg Zielinski, Coronado High School class of 2000, Marie Burrier, head of Northern, and stepchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins, and their families, all with strong ties to Coronado. Thank you for your service. The Lieutenant of Lawson's family, please come forward. The next bio is for Lieutenant Keith Garrett. Lieutenant Keith Garrett enlisted in the Navy in the summer of 1941 and completed his training as an aviation railroad at NES North Island, just before the attack of Pearl Harbor. He was immediately assigned to Scouting Squadron VS-2, flying the SBD Dauntless Dialogue off the original USS Lexington. In May 1942, aircraft carriers Lexington and Yorktown were positioned northeast of Australia to counter a Japanese invasion force. This evolved into the Battle of the Coral Sea. Combat lasted for 5 days, with the final day seeing the heaviest fighting. Returning from a second strike that day, Garrett severely injured his knee during a rough landing. He was taken below decks for medical treatment, but when an incoming Japanese attack was detected, air crews were ordered back to their planes. They were to return to the flight deck, only to see his aircraft departing with a replacement radio. It never returned. This left Garrett on board Lexington during the Japanese attack. Several bombs struck the ship. The 2 aerial torpedoes ultimately doomed her. As fire spread, the order was given to abandon ship. Garrett swam 2 miles before being rescued by a motor launch from the cruiser USS Minneapolis. Survivors were taken to New Zealand and later transported home by troop ship. In early 1943, Garrett was assigned to a composite squadron, VC-41, consisting of fighters and torpedo bombers, flying from the aircraft carrier USS Coronado. He participated in multiple air campaigns across the South Pacific, notably the invasions of Kwajalein, Saipan, Guam, and the Gilbert Islands, through the end of the war. He was shot down at least once and narrowly escaped a submarine torpedo attack, which instead struck and sank a sister ship, the USS Lisbon Bay, killing 702 of the 916 men on board. For his wartime actions, Garrett received a Distinguished Flying Cross and 5 air medals, among other commendations. After the war, he chose to continue his military service, rising to Master Chief Petty Officer before accepting commission. Following his 30-year naval career, he worked for the County of San Diego, initially as a court clerk and ultimately chief of the business division of the Superior Court. He lived in Coronado with his wife Ruth and his son Mark from 1969 until his passing in 2014. Thank you for your service. Lieutenant Garrett's family, please come forward.
The next biography is from Major Andy Grandmont. Andy Grandmont, a native of Coronado, was born to Dennis. Remote, okay. I took German high school, not French, I'm sorry. Andy Remote. Okay, got it. Andy Remote, a native of Coronado, was born in Denison County Remote alongside his brother Scott. They benefited from the steady presence of his father, Sergeant Remote, a Coronado police officer, and his mother Carol, an emergency room nurse and later a lead nurse at a local doctor's office. Andy developed an early passion for sports, especially tennis, and was a standout tennis player who received multiple tennis awards. Andy graduated from Coronado High School, then attended the University of Portland on a tennis and ROTC scholarship, studying computer science and later earning a master's degree in computer information systems. He entered the U.S. Air Force as a distinguished graduate of the Air Force ROTC program, beginning a decade of service. Andy served 10 years in the Air Force on the E-3 Airborne Warning and Control System, AWACS, which provides airborne surveillance, reconnaissance, and battle management for U.S. and coalition forces. Qualified in multiple crew positions, he concluded service as a senior air battle manager and instructor evaluator at the Air Battle Manager Schoolhouse. He supported domestic and overseas operations, including Operation Noble Eagle, immediately following 9/11. His deployments included Operation Northern Watch in Turkey, enforcing the no-fly zone over northern Iraq, as well as Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. During Freedom, he and his crew delivered critical airborne support during troops in contact situations, helping counter enemy attacks, protect coalition forces, and save countless lives. These efforts, they were named Air Battle Management Crew of the Year at the Air Force Association Awards Gala in Washington, D.C. After nearly 2,000 flight hours and multiple deployments, Andy transitioned to civilian life to focus on family while continuing to support the warfighter, particularly in unmanned aerial systems. Andy married his wife, Christy, in Coronado, and they have 3 sons, Micah, Cam, and Logan. The family was active at St. Paul's United Methodist Church, where Andy taught Sunday school and was known as Mr. G. Today he is active at Ramona United Methodist Church, where Christy serves as pastor. Andy leads the tech team and as a clergy spouse supports the ministry in many ways. His life reflects the Air Force core values: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Thank you for your service. Andy, Brevard and family, please come forward. The next biography is for Commander George Fleming. Commander George Fleming, U.S. Navy retired, graduate of the United States Naval Academy, class of 1957. Devoted his life to national service through a distinguished career in naval aviation, defense strategy, and the intelligence community, continuing a proud family legacy of military service. His connection to Coronado began at the age of 3, when his father was stationed there. Decades later, he returned with his own family, completing a meaningful full circle. After earning a degree in marine and electrical engineering, he began his career as a surface warfare officer before earning his wings as a naval aviator. Graduating first in his flight training class in Pensacola, Florida, he flew with anti-submarine warfare missions during the height of the Cold War. Commander Landon served aboard USS Essex, USS Hornet, and USS John F. Kennedy, participating in pivotal moments including the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Vietnam War. Flying in high-risk environments, he conducted surveillance and anti-submarine missions and was awarded the Air Medal. Early in his career, he survived an aircraft pitching in the Atlantic, a testament to the risks of naval aviation in his resilience. At finally, assigned a King as Executive Officer of VS-21, the Navy First Squadron to deploy the S-3 Alpha Viking. During its historic 1975 Mediterranean deployment aboard USS John F. Kennedy, the squadron earned the Battle Lead, the Chief of Naval Operations Safety Award, and the Captain Arnold J. Isbell Trophy for anti-submarine warfare excellence. Beyond operational service, Commander Landon held key strategic roles in the Office of Secretary of Defense and on the Navy staff, contributing to weapons systems analysis, long-range planning, and national security policy, including work supporting the Strategic Arms Limitation talks, SALT. He earned a master's degree in operations research from the Naval Postgraduate School and completed executive studies at Harvard Business School. Following his Navy career, he continued his service with the Central Intelligence Agency, leading major analytical and financial programs supporting critical intelligence systems. Equally central to his life was his wife, Anne, whose strength and support sustained a family through decades of service. Together they raised 3 children and returned to Coronado. Commander George Landon's life reflects enduring dedication to country, community, and family. Thank you for your service. Will Commander George Landon and his family please come forward?
Naval Academy time.
The next biography is for Captain Michael McIntosh. Michael Mike McIntosh was born in San Diego in October 1942, while his father was stationed at Camp Calvin before he was sent to Europe for World War II. Upon his father's return, Mike and the family lived in Oklahoma, Texas, and Mexico. Mike followed the family tradition and enrolled at the University of Oklahoma Leaders Class and Officer Commissioning Program. After completion of 2 Platoon Leaders Class summer programs at Marine Corps Base Quantico and graduating from the university, Mike was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps Reserve on May 4, 1965. He attended the basic school in Quantico as a member of the class of 1-66. Upon graduation in January 1966, he received orders to Westpac with a delay en route to attend the U.S. Army Field Artillery Training Course at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. In April 1966, Mike arrived in Vietnam. He was assigned to Alpha Battery, 1st Battalion, 11th Marines. After 4 months as a forward observer for the Rifle Company, he served as artillery liaison officer for the 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, where he spent the remainder of his 13-month tour in Vietnam. Mike participated in pacification activities as well as major combat operations, including Operation Hastings and Operation Stone. Upon return to the United States, he was stationed at Camp Pendleton, where where he was promoted to captain. He was released from active duty in June of 1968. Mike returned to the University of Oklahoma, where he earned a master's degree in business administration and went on to become a certified public accountant in Norman, Oklahoma. During his professional career, he served on the boards of several nonprofits, including the U.S. Marine Corps Coordinating Council of Oklahoma. After more than 30 years of accounting practice, he and his partners had built one of the largest independently owned CPA firms in Oklahoma. In 2007, Mike and his wife Jenna became part-time residents of Coronado. Since 2016, Mike and Jenna have been proud full permanent residents. Mike is a member of the Coronado Historical Association, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the Marine Corps League. Mike and Jenna have 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Thank you for your service.
Next up, we have Captain William S. Personius. Captain William S. Personius, United States Navy retired, served 30 years in the Navy. He graduated from Southside High School in Elmira, New York in 1976, and the United States Naval Academy in 1980. 2 weeks after graduating, he married the love of his life, Molly Hoffman. After flight training, he reported to Helicopter Combat Support Squadron 3 at Naval Air Station, North Island, flying in CH-46 C-90. He deployed to the Western Pacific aboard the USS White Plains and USS Calais, conducting vertical replenishment missions. Sure duty followed, training student naval aviators in the TH-57 Sea Range. Later he reported to USS Tarawa as a flight deck officer and flew UH-1 November Huey. After graduating from Air Force's Staff College, he served as an aide to the Deputy Commander of the USS Space Command in Colorado Springs. Returning to sea duty, Personius joined Helicopter Combat Squadron 11, deploying a detachment aboard USS Tarawa and USS Constellation in support of Pacific operations. He later commanded HC-11, leading the squadron to win the Battle Efficiency Award, and was runner-up for the James B. Stockdale Award for inspirational leadership. His first stage command was a fleet replacement squadron, where he won the Elson Award as the best FRS twice in consecutive years. Then in 2004, he assumed command of USS Pellew, LHA-5, deploying the ship twice and earned the Battle Unit Tactics Award, the CNO Safety Award, the Self-Sufficient Ship, Golden Anchor, and Gold and Silver Dwarf Lieutenants. His final 2 assignments were on the Navy staff, including officer in charge of the MH-60 Romeo's Fleet and Introduction Team. During his career, he accumulated more than 5,100 flight hours and performed 3 rescues at sea. Together, Molly and Bill have 3 adult children, Laura, Ned, and Kelly, who have blessed them with 7 grandchildren, 4 boys and 3 girls, ages 2 to 8. His personal decorations include 3 Legion 2010, he was the executive director of the Naval Helicopter Association and subsequently led the NHA Historical Society. He also spearheaded the installation of the Dwight Lasson Medal of Honor Helicopter Memorial as wingman to the Vice Admiral Stockdale's A4 Memorial. Thank you for your service. Will Captain William S. Personius and his family please come forward?
Yeah. Lots of little ones.
Now we're going to lose in charge of that family. The next biography is for Rear Admiral Tom Richards. Rear Admiral Thomas R. Richards, U.S. Navy, was an inspiring leader, a warrior, and an extraordinary Navy SEAL ready to risk it all for his SEAL teammates. He did exactly that during an enemy ambush in 1971. As his platoon commander lay seriously wounded, then Lieutenant Junior Grade Richards took charge of a 6-man SEAL patrol in a rice paddy in Vietnam while under heavy fire. 3 other teammates were seriously wounded, and the Viet Cong's bullet had just ripped through Richards' right hand. With selfless disregard for his own life and completely exposed to enemy fire, he dragged his wounded teammates out of the kill zone and across the rice paddy to cover behind a dike. He made that trip 3 times and rallied his teammates against an enemy force that outnumbered them 10-1. They were extracted under fire by helicopter. Christened the Hulk by his fellow SEALs, Richard was born in 1947 in Bayshore, New York. He graduated from Bayshore High School, where he wrestled and played football, and attended Villanova University on a Navy ROT scholarship. Graduating in 1969, he was commissioned an ensign in the Naval Reserve, reported to Basic Underwater Demolition, BUDS, SEAL training, and graduated with a class of 55, He then reported to SEAL Team 1. Rising steadily through the ranks, Richards commanded multiple levels, including Commander of Naval Special Warfare Command, overseeing all Navy SEALs. He participated in or led classified special operations in Vietnam, El Salvador, the Persian Gulf, and Haiti. He and his wife Jackie were repeatedly stationed in Coronado, where they owned a home. Additionally, he was stationed in Washington, D.C., Rhode Island, Little Creek, Virginia, and Tampa, Florida. After retiring from the military service, Richard served in various capacities, including Chief Operating Officer on Southern Secret Enterprises, Vice President with the Fognet Corporation, Vice President and Senior Military Advisor at the Gillette Marine Systems, and on the Board of Directors of the Naval Special Warfare Foundation from its inception, later serving as its chairman. Admiral Richards passed away in September 2025 and is survived by his wife Jackie, whom he married in Coronado in 1971 and publicly credited for her sacrifice in enabling him to serve. Thank you for your service. Please come forward.
The next biography is for E4, shipfitter Wayne Strickland. Wayne Strickland was born in September 1945 in Red Bluff, California, and grew up in Monterey Park near East Los Angeles. His father was a police officer who raced motorcycles, a passion Wayne shared along with surfing. His older brother became a Los Angeles police officer, while Wayne set his sights on becoming a firefighter. At age 17, Wayne enlisted in the U.S. Navy in September 1963 under the Kitty Cruise Early Enlistment Program, which allowed 17-year-olds with parental consent to serve and complete their service before turning 21. He attended boot camp in San Diego and trained as a ship fitter, now a hull technician, specializing in welding and sheet metal work. He was assigned to the guided missile cruiser USS Galveston, COG-3, a flag vessel carrying an admiral and 50 Marines. In 1965, the USS Galveston deployed to Vietnam, conducting shore bombardment using six 6-inch guns on the bow and 4 5-inch guns on the port and starboard sides, and destroying munitions-carrying vessels. Wayne served as a petty officer 3rd class, E4, leading the firefighting and rescue crew during helicopter refueling operations. He received an honorable discharge in September 1966. After naval service, Wayne attended the San Diego City College, studying fire science. In March 1967, he joined the Coronado Fire Department, where he served for 32 years. He rose to the rank of fire captain before retiring in June 1999. Wayne married Nancy in 1977. They built a blended family of 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Since retiring, Wayne and Nancy have traveled by RV to 48 states, Southern Canada and Baja California, and cruised to Alaska and Hawaii. Committed to service, Wayne is a lifetime member of the Coronado VFW, American Legion, and California State Firefighters Association, and an active member of the Coronado Rotary Club, Focus, the Coronado Yacht Club, the Navy Yacht Club, Chula Vista Elks, and the Coronado Island Beer Club. For a California Senate hire on the Coronado Bridge in Silver Strand to prevent head-on collisions, and has long worked to bring suicide prevention barrier to the bridge, now scheduled for construction. From Vietnam to more than 3 decades protecting Coronado and continued public safety advocacy, his life reflects dedication, courage, and enduring service. Thank you for your service. Will Wayne Strickland and his family please come forward?
Today's final biography is for Captain Robert H. Taylor. Growing up in Milledgeville, Georgia, Robert Bob Taylor was an unlikely Franklin with bigger plans. After high school, he was appointed to the Naval Academy class of 1930 by Representative Carl Vinson. Upon graduating, Bob began a series of surface warfare assignments aboard USS Oklahoma, USS Pennsylvania, and USS Holland. After 2 years teaching at the Naval Academy, he was appointed flag lieutenant to command the destroyer's battle force in San Diego, and he and his wife moved to Coronado. A popular officer, known for his easy, affable humor and his warm southern drawl, Bob was sought after raconteur. The young officer's whimsical cartoons and doodles appeared in shipboard publications, and his love for animals was legendary. In October 1940, Lieutenant Taylor reported for duty as communication officer aboard the light cruiser USS Raleigh, and things got interesting. On the morning of December 7th, 1941, Raleigh was moored in Pearl Harbor, with much of its crew on weekend leave. At 6:50 a.m., Lieutenant Taylor and his relieving officer spotted planes approaching. Initial thoughts of the drill were shattered when the torpedo struck the ship, destroying all steam and electrical power. Lieutenant Taylor immediately rigged auxiliary communications and created a system of runners to convey orders and reports around the ship. 11 minutes later, Raleigh's guns opened fire. The first shots recorded in the defense of Pearl Harbor. Within a month, Lieutenant Taylor was promoted and appointed Flag Lieutenant to Admiral Thomas Kincaid, serving in the battles of Coral Sea, Midway, Guadalcanal, the Solomon Islands, the Aleutian Island Liberation, and Leyte Gulf. In January 1944, he was named Navigation Officer of USS Nashville, the flagship of General Douglas MacArthur. He returned with MacArthur to the Philippines in October 1944. Taylor later served in the Office of Chief of Naval Operations and as Commander of Destroyer Division 52. His decorations include Silver Star, Legion of Merit, and 2 Bronze Stars for combat fatigue. It has been said that life is what happens when you're making other plans. In June 1950, Captain Robert Hudson Taylor unexpectedly passed away in Newport, Rhode Island at the age of 41. He was survived by his cherished wife Agnes, daughter Ann, and son Robert Martin Taylor, both of whom reside in Coronado. Thank you for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to recognize those current and former banner recipients who are with us today. Would you please stand and let us know who you are? Thank you to all our honorees, their family and friends, the City of Coronado, and all who helped to make this event so successful. As we approach Veterans Day, we are honored to tell the stories of these local heroes and to demonstrate our appreciation for all that they do or have done for our country. And now we have asked City Manager Tina Friend back to the stage for her closing remarks.
Enduring service, that's what you're hearing across all of these. It's just magnificent. It's so hopeful and so inspiring to us all. So you're all so amazing. And I have to say, is we want to keep these coming. So if you know people that would be a great fit for this program, send them our way so we can help find a way to get the nomination process going, because this is one of the most fabulous and fantastic celebrations we have. We are just so happy. A few final remarks. There's one more set of appreciation. There's another behind-the-scenes team. Some remarkable people in my office, the city manager's office, are up in the sound booth right there. So Kaylee Ricci and Kelly Naples and Courtney Wright, thank you so much. Thank you for attending, and a special thanks to the families and friends who traveled from out of town. I know this is a real opportunity to gather and convene, and you'll have brunches together and spend the weekend together. And if you haven't seen your flag up on 3rd and 4th, please go out and enjoy seeing that. So a final thank you to our dignitaries, thank the city
Sarah. Yep. And Sarah. Hey, Jane. Hi. Hey, Ari. Good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Susie. Hello. Mom.
I was surprised. Oh,
Yes. She was doing well, but today it's not too.
Okay.
No. There you go. Makes me want to work harder on the floor.
Molly loves high